No such thing.
But the next question I had was about the documents. You know, there's a lot of talk by the ninja schools. Just to get back on topic, there's a lot of talk by the ninja schools, and you know, a lot of it is lore. If you guys know what I'm talking about. Like if you train from a ninja master, it's all covered in shadows and in lore. And what of the claims, because I'm sure there must be some claims out there that, well, the reason why we can't date our ancestry back and the reason why we're not considered legitimate is because we were secret assassins, and you know, our history was secretly burned. You know, our documents were burned to keep anonymity, and documents weren't kept on us because we were ninja. We were, you know, we lurked in the shadows. We weren't, you know, you didn't pay your assassin and then write down everything that he did. All right, well, assassin's day number 1, so you know, day number 2 I'll be killing this man. So perhaps good records weren't kept. That would be a substantial argument, I would assume. So what of these arguments stating that we're legitimate ninja-ru, but good records weren't kept on purpose? What do you have to say about that?
Okay, clan keeping records, saying that, you know, they didn't keep records because it would incriminate them. You know, 1 is ridiculous, and 2, it is absolutely ridiculous. First of all, ninjas are not criminals, right? Absolutely not. First step is to understand is that ninjas were hired to catch criminals. Therefore, why would a ninja be a criminal if the government hired them to catch criminals? It's ridiculous. And then on top of that, actually, ninja were part of a samurai army. Absolutely, without doubt, they were part of the samurai ranks, and this is always backed up by different documents. So no, there is no way that it's incriminating for ninjas to keep ninja documents. Rubbish, out and out rubbish. Their documents were kept in samurai families, guys. Samurai families. The big problem comes when the Iga samurai of Iga were put down to Musokunin and Doshin and a half samurai. That happened after 1582, yeah, 1581. They got pushed down. Therefore, Iga means ninja. Iga drop in status. Ninja are not samurai. It is just not true. Sorry, but no.
So ninjas are not criminals?
Well, yeah. I mean, he's the expert, right? So ninja are not criminals. I
Well,
mean,
they were government hired
employees. I knew that.
Right.
You know that much because we know that they were ashigaru. They were foot soldiers, and we know that when just as Anthony stated, when the samurai class, you know, got pushed down, the Iga samurai got pushed down in class, and that was about governing the nation and keeping better rungs on things, and it really was about the distribution of wealth, so that more money could be shifted in a different direction. So if these guys were only half samurai, then they didn't have the poise and the stature that the other samurai had, and you could do more. But anyway, that's interesting because there were so many tales of, you know, the ninja the assassin, and the ninja the spy, and the ninja the thief, and the cat burglar. Basically, you know, the ninja was so many tales of that. So that's interesting. So that brings up another question, because while we're going into it, if the ninja were not criminals and they were not, then here's another big one that I was told by the martial arts community, and that was by the people who know. They're the ones who taught me, and they said that during the Son Goku era that there were different factions of samurai that came up with anti-ninjutsu, and that was to combat the ninja threat. So they came up with this form of shinobi jutsu. It was this like ninjutsu, anti-ninjutsu, and it was to combat ninja, and it was tactics and techniques, and then there were like a divide within the faction, within the gumi. So within the samurai family, within the samurai gumi, there was a divide, and what ended up happening was you had kind of a shadow clan. So you may have like the Yagyu-ryu, and then you'd have the Yagyu-kage-ryu. And is there any truth to that? That You had the samurai clan, and then you had the shadow clan that was the samurai clan. It was kind of like samurai by day and ninja by night, something like that. Any truth to that?
Actually, to be honest, this question I can't really answer, to be honest. I've never heard of it, sort of like factions within factions about ninja. I'm not saying it's not true, I've just said it sounds a bit conspiracy theory, and it sounds a bit unrealistic, to be honest. But again, I've never even heard of this, so I can't answer that. I'm sorry, guys.
Alright, well that was interesting. I didn't know
Yeah.
that from that point of view. It definitely makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it always seemed like it was kind of like a conspiracy type of thing, you know? But I don't know. You know, you hear so many things, and that's what's really a pleasure about this interview, is that we get to bounce. You hear so many things, you know, and we actually get to bounce it off the expert.
Right.
You know, what's your take on this? It's pretty exciting. Unfortunately, usually, you know, you have expert martial artists, but you don't get a chance to speak to the people who don't have an agenda. And this man doesn't have an agenda. That's what's awesome about you, Anthony, is that he just shoots from the hip, he's shooting from the gut, and you can tell he's just being genuine, and it's awesome.
Definitely.
You know,
Appreciate it.
It's not, you know, it's not contorted truth. It's, you know, you can tell, like, he's not even pulling punches, you know, this is how much I know, which is great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Alright, enough of this seriousness. Anthony, what was your favorite video game?
Ninja video.
Ninja video game. What was your favorite ninja video game? Just wondering.
My favourite ninja video game, without a doubt, is Tenchu. Simply because Tenchu was the one that took it from the 80s into the 90s, and it was cool. I remember being on a coach going past in London, going past a big billboard sign that was like Tenchu, blood everywhere. And when you played this before I started doing any of this work, and I was a big Bujinkan fan, and it was like, oh my god, this is proper realistic. You know, we've got grappling hooks and poison and disguise, and I was just like, yeah. However, I played it for about 3 minutes. I am terrible at computer games. I don't own a computer console. I actually bought a computer console off a friend of mine who wanted to buy drugs because he was a druggie and he'd run out of money, and they were going to some sort of festival and he's got his long dreadlocks, and I was just like, I will buy your console, that was like years old at the time, with Tenchu for £20 so he could go get some bloody marijuana. And I bought it for him. Like, so I'm quite anti-drugs, to be honest. I have no interest in drugs, and I really just never understood it. So just gave him the cash and like got Tenchu, played it for about 3 minutes, and then was like, I'm not very good at computer games, am I? So that was the end of that. In fact, my hatred of computer games started with Colin Ward, my best friend as a child, who was just amazing at Street Fighter 2 and just battered me all the time. So I was really annoyed at Colin because I just throw it away and he just kicked me in on the game. So, you know, and he was one of the first people I did all this ninja stuff with. So if you're out there, Colin, well, I still know him, of course, but you know, them days when we used to dress as ninjas and run around and throw fireballs at each other back in the day.
I do remember Tenchu. Tenchu was very, very detailed ninjutsu video game. Definitely had more detail than the games that I like. I'm more of a Nintendo fan, but did play Tenchu. Ninja Gaiden was one of my favorites. Enter the Kage was another one, which was very 8-bit, ninjas chasing you through the trees, and you had to throw Chinese stars. But you know what my favorite video game was? Take a guess. Ninja Turtles. Guess who my favorite character was? Don't worry, I'll wait. No, can't figure it out? Donatello. He was the man. You could beat anybody with that Rokushakubo, 6-foot stab.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but we can't be serious all the time, right?
No. But you know what's cool? Like, jumping, you know, he's talking about when he was a kid jumping around, shooting fireballs and stuff. That's so cool. I mean, thanks so much for sharing these.
Oh yeah, Street Fighter, and I can still play a mean game of Street Fighter too. I am really good. Ryu or Ken, that's all I need. Give me one of those two guys, and we're going. Right. But it's really Ryu. But see, I didn't know that until started training with you and learning sogobujutsu and learning Japanese terms. That this whole time, me and all of my buddies were calling this guy Ryu, when the real pronunciation of it is Ryu, which has a meaning of martial family.
Or dragon. Or he's probably meaning that he's the dragon.
Oh, the dragon. But still, the pronunciation still is Ryu. Okay. Awesome. Awesome.
said something else though.
Oh yeah, you're saying jumping around, throwing fireballs.
It's just too fun.
Yeah.
You know, and I think we all kind of started there. You know,
Heck
as
yeah,
kids.
Who didn't? Oh, you good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. I never got into video games. I just couldn't do it. I think for the same reason. You know, I think we all, us that didn't get into video games. I had a friend. His name was Joey Knappenberger, and Joey did the same thing. You know, we'd be playing video games. Hey Dave, grab the other remote. I'm like, oh, so you can beat me up for 10 hours, and you never win because this guy put the time in. So all right, well, I'll grab the other side, and he just beat the crap out of me in 2 seconds, and I couldn't do anything. So like, this sucks.
You got a button mash. You got just hit all of them. Just pray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be a miracle.
You know what's crazy though? I used to play so much.
Yeah.
I used to gamble at the local arcade when I was I swear, when I was a 5th grader. I used to go and play $5 a game. But in order to get really good at these games, not to go off on a tangent, but you have to get good with one button at a time. Like just the jab button. See if you can win a fight with just the jab. And I would bet like that. Like, dude, I'll just use the jab button. I'll bet you $20 I win. Yep. And I would just use one button. Everybody would watch and see if I just use one button. And I'd just sit there, just one button. Give me my $20. And I would kick butt. I would
jab
with just one button. You knew you were good if you could just use one button. You were good.
All right.
I'm telling you. So you know what? We'll get Street Fighter.
And so I can get beat up.
No. This way, you and Anthony can go at it. You know, when we finally meet in person, we'll get a good game of Street Fighter going. What do you say, fellas?
Maybe I'll win. Let's not. Let's hang out and do
Leave
something
that in the past.
So, you can't bring an expert. You can't bring an expert across the world
just to play Street Fighter.
Street Fighter.
Come on, can't we?
No.
Have a
not when there's so much to be learned.
Yeah, I hear you.
Now I'm sorry that I'm like I gotta bring this back. I'm sorry that I'm harping on this idea, but I'm really interested in the ninja assassin kind of thing, and I know that a lot of the guys are. So I know in a lot of your videos and a lot of what you're putting out as far as your teachings go, you're trying to create a true and more precise image of what a ninja was, so that we can understand the historical significance, and I appreciate that. So maybe I'm too stuck on what has been portrayed for the last 20 years? 20 years, maybe longer, right? 30 years. So yeah, since the 1980s, so maybe 30 years. We've been saying this is what a ninja is. This is what a ninja is. This is what a ninja is. So one of the things is that you're saying that there was no that there's no ninjutsu as a martial arts system. That there's no ninjutsu as a martial arts system, guys. So if that's stated, and that's a big one, that's going to be hard for a lot of the audience members to swallow. And I know you got tons of books out there stating it. I know you've said it a ton of times. And I apologize, but here it is again, unfortunately. Okay, so it's not a martial arts system, but how about this? These guys were assassins, were they not? Couldn't there have been a codified system of assassination methods? That's not far-fetched, right?
I wouldn't think so. Why wouldn't you streamline your
assassination
techniques?
If you're an assassin, how is it that you would not have assassination techniques? And that would be ninjutsu, the codified martial arts system.
That sounds